Welcome back to NHL Tonight. 5-2. Vegas over the Minnesota Wild in a game, listen closely, that the Wild led 2-0 and for a brief moment led 3-0. They end up losing by 3 goals, and home ice advantage now swings back to the Vegas Golden Knights. Tony Luffman alongside Mark Parrish and Jody Shelley. You guys have to explain to me, our not-so-secret sauce is having guys that played the game, can explain it, and can help us understand. We all watch the game, but we don't all see the nuances. This, as I look at the shots taken, shots on goal, I'm reading you Minnesota's shots per period. 7, 5, 4. They're down 3-2 in the third period, and they manage 4 shots on goal. Perry, you cover this team all year long. You know them so well. How do you explain it?
Ooh, that's a tough one. This is a team that's come back, that is comfortable even being down games. They come back and find that desperation and end up playing the best in the third period. To me, that tells me that Vegas was lights out, that they really shut them down, that they didn't give them much chance. Any turnovers, anything in zone, had to have been blocking shots, making sure they get it in deep, and truly controlled that game in the third period, because there's nothing but desperation in the playoffs. This is a game 3. The Wild stole home ice. Yeah. This is how they keep home ice. And for Vegas to go that direction with the shots, they had to have played spectacular.
And 2 goals on 7 shots in the first period. You're feeling maybe a little too good about yourself. Vegas gets ignited, and as the second period goes on, and then the third period, I think the 4 shots, I think the last 2 are in the last minute or 2 minutes of that game once Vegas got that third goal. So a lot to look at there, but for Minnesota, just not enough. I mean, there's not enough. We talk about the cliches, get in front of the goalie, take the eyes away, but how about getting on the inside, getting pucks to the net? It sounds easy, but I guess tonight wasn't very easy for the Minnesota Wild. Yeah,
they just got to want it more. There's got to be more desperation. Just like Jody said, it's just not enough. And when it comes down to this time of game, these close games, how bad do you want it? You've got to want it more. You've just got to flat out outwork the guy across from you. Each and every line, each and every D pair, go out there and outwork them. And right now, that's just not what the Wild did.
And avoid a key mental mistake. This is a tough one if you're Nick Bugstad. Pete DeBoer on the Vegas bench, mindful of the fact that Bugstad came into the zone early. As fans of the game, the goal wiped off. As fans of the game, we watch a sequence like that and we think, boy, it seems like it should be easier to stay on side, especially when you're right by the puck. What's your reaction as a former player?
You've got to make sure. You've just got to be sure. You know as a player, you know spatial awareness, you know where the blue line is, you know where the puck is. And I love Nick Bugstad, obviously a good old Minnesota boy, but you've got to make sure. He's got long legs. It doesn't take much just to drag one a little bit behind it there and make sure that one stays on sides. Because as you can see throughout that segment, how hard they were working. That's the kind of hockey Minnesota's got to play. They got it on the forecheck. They're winning puck battles. They get it back to the point, get a shot through, get to the rebound. That's how the Minnesota Wild's going to win this game against the Vegas Golden Knights. And it all gets taken away. And how deflating that can be for Minnesota to get that one taken away. Going from, all right, 3-0, we got this one in hand. Let's keep going to, oh, crap, now it's back to 2.
And you could see Eriksson Ek. I mean, if there was a thought bubble above him, it'd be like, are you kidding me? And it's not because of Bugstad. It's because it's an inch, of difference. When they entered the zone many seconds before the goal goes in, you got to go back in time to see if it was legal on the way in. The speed of the game, the anticipation that's involved in the game, the excitement in the moment. I know it's a pet peeve of mine, and off camera I said, you got to stay on side. And you do, but when you look at it, you know what? You still got to stay on side. But what I'm saying is it's so quick. You anticipate so much. You know Bugstad feels terrible. Momentum. It comes and goes. And it was almost like a moment there where Vegas said, okay, it was almost 3-0. Then we're in big trouble. It's only 2. Let's get this going.
Mark Stone, the captain, that was the message. Just reading his lips and his body language, they did a tight shot of the bench, and you saw Stone shouting. And I can only assume or guess that that was the message. As we look forward to the rest of this series, they'll go again on Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern, puck drop. Vegas, as we mentioned, has regained home ice advantage. We made the point coming into this series that no team has been more successful against Vegas since they entered the league. So Minnesota is not intimidated. But after this game, especially the way that it unfolded, Jody, a 2-0 lead, not able to protect it. They lose 5-2. Where does it go from here?
I think Zach Parise's got to come in. He's a leader. I know there's controversy there, but, you know, it's moments like this you rely on leadership, whether it's the coach or the guys in the locker room to say, how do we act? How are we going to respond? You know, there's guys that haven't been in this situation before, that the emotion of the game, you leave the rink tonight, you go home, and you wonder, what are we going to do? We're done. Like, we feel deflated because Vegas feels so good. But you also feel like, hey, you're a good hockey team. Forget about it. It's a 7-game series in front of your fans. Come back and get ready for Game 4. So it's going to be a long day off, but they're going to get through this. And the veteran leadership, I think, and you can speak to it, is key right now.
Yeah, the most goals they've scored in one game is 2 so far. They need more goals than that against Vegas. They've got too high-powered of an offense. And I think Vegas came back, and the way they finished this game truly made a statement that they feel they are the better team. They showed that they were the better team by the shots allowed they did against Minnesota coming down the stretch in that tonight. And Minnesota's got to find it. They got to get a spark. They got to create a spark. And Zach Parise knows how to spark teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, and you know, the talk has been about Fleury and how well he's played. Well, they didn't even test him tonight. So it's time to go back to, really, you know, Foligno leads the way for me in a lot of the way. That line that plays so well, they play so hard together. That's one to follow. That's kind of the attitude they need to bring into this. And I like the Parise element. I mean, it's there, and it's a player that, you know, you see him staying after practice with the taxi squad. There's a lot of details that he understands. Might be time to give him a call.